bonjour. It is time.
Sacre
Oui, monsieur.
Joker, Folie, Deux.
Bibliothèque.
I'll have you know that Spencer and I are both married to women from Montreal, so we're allowed to do this.
Oui, oui, mon ami.
And Chris lived there, so he's allowed to do it. It's just Luciano.
Life don't get much better than this.
No, not for you, sir.
I do not care.
You are cancelled.
Speaking about no, not for you, sir. We watched the Joker Folie Deux, and that was for all of us. No, we should not have watched this movie. Potentially, it was bad. Who knows? Spoilers.
What? Not only did you bury the lead, you killed it first. And had a ceremony.
Sang a song, perhaps.
Yeah. No, don't do that.
We'll get
That is a
there.
bad idea.
Luciano is obviously here with us. Chris.
Allegedly.
Chris
I am.
also
I am here.
showed up. Spencer, first time, long time.
Oui, oui. Je
We
m'appelle
fucking
Spencer.
got you, buddy.
I couldn't miss this one.
Yeah, you could.
No matter how
not.
hard I tried.
Yeah, you tried hard. You really resisted.
We would have forgiven you.
I
Now
could
you're
not miss
trapped
this
in your
movie
basement
at
again.
gunpoint.
It's fine. Yeah. So let's do this. We are honor bound to say one nice thing about this movie. If we then don't like this movie, if not, it's going to be easy for us. Nice things, Spencer. What do you got?
Well, let me tell you about the thing I liked about this movie. A Joker. This movie was bad and it was boring and long and it's
Already?
a Joker.
Already better musical number than the whole movie.
I know exactly what he's feeling and what's happening. Well done.
It's riveting.
It's also original music.
Yeah, completely original. One thing I liked about this movie, I forgot we start with this.
That's what a
sorry.
movie. That's what the Joker will do to you.
needed 45
too.
minutes of preparation to answer that one question.
The thing I liked about this movie, I got it. It had good cinematography. It's a good looking movie.
True.
The trailer, when you watch the trailer, I remember because when I watched the trailer, I was like, this looks cool.
Yeah, same.
And there's a couple scenes in this movie that I remember from the trailer where I was like, this was from the trailer, and it was wrong.
Shit.
They tricked us again.
Shit, this is what they used to fool us.
Hoodwinked.
I'd like to derail us immediately because I have a question that's somewhat related to your point of the scenery and everything looking good. So, did they call Gotham New York City at one point?
Yes.
Or did
I feel like they did.
The jury
yeah.
says when they to say is charged, they're like
New
Yeah.
York
due to
City
the power
versus...
of New York City's the state or whatever.
Okay, so they're just not even bothering with like acting like Gotham's its own city, and
I think they're saying it's
in the DC.
It's a city. Gotham is a city in
in New York State.
like the Gotham Comedy Club.
Oh, okay.
I always thought Gotham was supposed to be Chicago, so I guess not.
Well, no.
Chicago.
For me,
like,
Metropolis was New York.
Yeah. So
you
the
heard-
problem
have
is,
you heard
like
the
they're,
Penguin
they're
talk?
they're like combinations.
Have you heard the Penguin talk in the You do good
True.
work, Vic. You do good work. That's a fucking New York accent.
Yeah.
All of the mobsters too, right?
But
but in
they
DC. Oh, go ahead.
yeah. No, Chris is gonna say it in DC. Midway is the named Chicago equivalent. The thing is like all those cities are like combinations,
that's right.
right?
Yeah,
like in theory,
yeah.
Metropolis is New York. Gotham
Yep.
is like a Boston, bit of Chicago.
New York.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
And-
And then what? Coastal city is what? LA or
probably more San Diego.
San Diego? Okay.
Air Force,
Atlantis is Rhode Island.
Hey.
Famously.
Whoa, this clam chowder is delicious.
I said chow down.
Chow there.
Anyways, let's go back to I don't know, Luciano.
No.
Okay, so, and this is gonna be a foreshadowing of how good this movie is.
Don't
Better be a real good
Don't
thing.
be
and
a
not
real
fake
good
The
thing.
one thing,
You can't
the
joke
one
your
thing
way
I
out of
liked
it.
about this movie, my favorite scene in this movie is when Sophie's taking the stand and is talking about, is giving her testimony, and she says, maybe if I had called the police maybe all of those people would still be alive. And it cuts to Joker, and he goes, "Oh, that's true." Like, and his reaction is so genuine. I actually laughed out loud. I was like, "Okay, that was really funny," because he's like, he's not in his own trial. He's just watching someone tell a story, and he's like, "Well, that's probably true."
That's a good point.
So that was my favorite scene of this movie. That should tell you something.
Your favorite scene in the movie is when they recap the last movie.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
They did that.
I appreciate that. Chris, what do you got?
Yeah, Southern Joker lawyer,
That was pretty good.
walking and prancing, gallivanting with that stride and that drawl. I had no idea. I thought it was just going to be a mini bit for him, but he committed, and it was glorious. I didn't even know it was something that I needed, and before and after that, I was dead inside. So
It's good. I like that. The part you like, not the dead part.
oh yeah. Oh, sorry. Adhering to rules.
I not much about this
Matt,
movie was
you
exciting
have to
me.
say one too.
I know.
Yeah,
but I'll
you
say
do.
there's two things. One is I really appreciated that they Kool-Aid manned the courtroom to have the Joker escape.
Oh yeah, anarchy! Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's in the director's cut. It is actually Kool-Aid Man
And he's
popping
like,
through.
he's a Joker
I would not
fan.
be surprised.
Yeah,
He's
he's got
with
Joker
the
face.
system. Oh yeah.
And then the other
Capitalism.
thing is, it's obviously a holdover from the first movie, but damn, Joaquin Phoenix just is a great crazy laugh.
Yeah.
It is like the Joker laugh is so spot on. Like it makes you really think he is like the Joker, and then he sings and
He's still good in this,
forget.
minus the singing.
He's fine. I don't think his portrayal of the characters is the same as the last movie. It's just the movie, and that's a great segue to
Haha.
the movie.
this movie sucked balls.
Jesus Christ.
We have many flaws and complaints about this movie. Let's start at the highest level possible.
Okay.
Everything.
What was this movie about?
Yeah.
I'm so confused.
So am I. Yeah. I would go even further and say, like, what was the purpose of telling this story? Like, what did it accomplish?
I think the script. I won't even say script. I think the plot treatment was like Joker starts in prison, and then Phil
dead.
scene, and then Joker dies in prison, and they're like, we'll figure out the middle.
I see.
As we
they,
go.
They got the ends, and they're like, "Well, Phil saved this with something."
I do think they
How about
wanted
songs?
They wanted to like deconstruct the Joker. I just don't think that they could. I don't think they had a story in mind to do that. They were just like, that's our end goal, and we're just going to put things that make that happen.
What I read
He's right.
was that Todd Phillips was like, he was mad that there were people that saw the Joker as a hero in the first movie or something, and so he wanted to kind of disavow people of this, and apparently he wanted it to be anticlimactic and anti-audience. He said, "I wanted this to be an anti-audience movie." I'm like,
Mission
what?
accomplished.
what? Yeah, 100%.
You nailed it, sir.
That's
Yeah.
a great way to no longer work in Hollywood.
Yeah, I was like, I don't understand.
Hey, dummy. Guess what? Yeah, people are gonna like your protagonist, even when they're the villain, because it's your protagonist.
Yeah.
This is one of my fundamental problems with this movie is, unlike in the first movie, Todd Phillips couldn't give a fuck that the Joker is an established character in a canon.
Yeah.
He was so like horse blandered to his end goal, like you said, Spencer, of like having the Joker die, that he basically ignored everything. Like the Joker has rules, the Joker has structure. And this movie, Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker just did whatever was convenient to drive the plot to the end goal, right? So he's like, he's on meds and he's normal, and then he takes off the meds and he does something crazy, and then he flips. Like the end scene where he like turns into the Joker, goes back to the prison, allegedly gets sodomized by the prison guards, and then comes back to the prison the next day and is like, yeah, the courtroom's like, I killed my mom, I choked that guy, I did all these things. The yo-yo was like, what the fuck? Like
No, and that came out of like absolute nowhere.
Not earned at all.
no.
Yeah.
None. Zero.
I mean, it would have made sense, and it's so obvious if you're just writing this movie that like he falls for Harley, and they have this whole thing, and then she ends up leaving him because he's not what she wanted, and then he has that breakdown because he's like finally had love and then it was taken away, but she leaves because he has that breakdown, which doesn't make any sense.
And we can talk about this more later once we're done with this, but like I hated the flip of the dynamic of her manipulating him rather than the opposite, which is how it usually is with them, like her being a psychiatrist, actual psychiatrist, not just going to grad school. But we can talk about it a little later, but I hated that. And that culmination of her going, oh, if you're not going to be my pet plaything, I'm going to walk out. It was like, so am I supposed to, is that like, I don't understand how I'm supposed to feel. I'm supposed to hate her and pity him. But he is what, if not the biggest, one of the biggest villains in comic book history. Why am I feeling sorry for this guy? I don't want to.
Well, I think one thing that everybody needs to know when they go into either this or the last Joker movie is that Todd Phillips, like you said, doesn't give a fuck about Joker. And I don't think the first movie was supposed to be a Joker movie. I think it was a script he had that he turned into a Joker movie because that would get it made.
But it works. The first movie works.
It works, but it's also not really like the Joker. It's like its own version, like of a sad story of a man.
Yeah, but like crumbles. That is as good an origin story for the Joker as anything else, and it has some like they touch on that in some of the comics as far as I remember. Not like there isn't a story exactly like this, but there's beats of this, right? The name itself and all that stuff, like the abuse and all, like him trying to be a normal guy, trying to be a person who's in society and gets fucked by society, and he decides that everything's got to burn. That's how we landed in the end of the last movie. I thought they were going to pick up on that and move it along
to where he's actually
he's an actual villain. Yeah,
no, silly man.
See, I know.
Why would we get the movie we want?
That would have made sense.
Tricks are for kids.
Chris, you're familiar with the Elsewhere line of comics in DC, right?
Partially. I've been exposed.
Yeah, so they are, for the audience that's not listening, the audience is listening.
They're not, but okay.
Fair enough.
Gotta believe. Here comes the number. Anyways.
Here we go. So the Elsewhere Comics is a place where DC can tell stories about the characters sort of elsewhere in time or elsewhere in space, etc. So
like Marvel's What If.
Yeah, so Gotham by Gaslight is an example. There's an animated film for it. And so to me, this Joker, the first Joker movie just felt like an Elsewhere. Joker by
Elseworlds,
Elseworlds, sorry.
Elseworlds, you're right. Yeah,
Joker by 1970s New York.
Sure.
That's all it felt like to me. And so when the second movie comes in, I'm just like, oh, you're still Jokering the same story. And then I see it, I'm just like,
stop Jokering it.
But why did you want the Joker for this?
Yeah.
I mean, it makes no sense because the whole first movie is like his origin.
Yeah.
And then, but when you look at it in hindsight, it was like the origin of what? The origin of a guy who just gets killed in going to jail for the crime he commits in the first movie.
Yeah, it's the origin of a guy who could have been the Joker, but ended up just immediately going to Arkham, getting fucked by everybody, literally and non-literally, and then dying. Like
isn't this why? Yes, isn't this why The Simpsons just used the piece of paper with the text that said Poochie died on the way back to his home planet, so we didn't have to see a movie of Poochie singing and going through an existential crisis.
I think that's exactly why.
But it makes sense, like to also like plus one on your earlier point, Luciano, when you're like, why am I pitying him? It's because that's what happened over 1 and 2. Complete punching bag in every shape, in every sense of the word.
Yeah, and no payoff for the punching bag.
Perplexing.
Right? It's like he is a punching bag in the first movie, but then in the first movie he snaps. Right, that's the whole point, which is like kind of like what you're going in to see. Okay, this is a villain's origin story,
and it's like cathartic because he finally like kind of stands up for himself, even though it's like he's wrong. You empathize because they've shown him his past. It's a good structure. And it makes
and
it pay off.
And then here is like, no, it's just a punching bag. There's no payoff. There's no conclusion, like satisfactory conclusion. Because even that whole scene where he gets killed at the end, I was like, why would the guard let him walk so far behind?
Yeah, they
And
were in
then
on
some other dude comes in, talks to him. The guard is just fucking off someone. That's
I mean, you saw the guards to let them get away. Like, if Harley was in the hole with Joker,
yeah, that's another thing.
When
How
they-
did she get there?
well, that's the thing. I think they just paid off the guards. Like, I mean,
Right.
you're
Yeah.
to me, this is kind of like, this is the worst analogy ever, but my analogy is always like when someone breaks up with you and then like they broke up with you and for like a dumb reason, like whatever, you didn't, you kept not skipping on dates or something, but you're mad because they weren't nice to your dog or something. And like, like the reason why you broke up isn't because they weren't nice to your dog. They broke up with you because they didn't want to date you anymore. And so like the complaints of like, oh, they got away with things in the jail. It's just like, yeah, it's jails. People could be corrupt.
I
It
know,
is what
but
it
like
is.
my point is not like it's not that it doesn't make sense or anything, which it doesn't. But you're right. Like that's like eating a giant bowl of shit and complaining there's a hair on it. Like that's not what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Right. It's like even that scene that it felt like they wanted it to be this big sort of not like a big sort of climactic end or anticlimactic end, and it was not. It was just like a whimper. Like, okay, this punching bag got punched bag one last time.
The ending would have made sense if this was like the third movie, and the second movie was him being like the king of Gotham and like doing all this shit, and then seeing him die would be like, wow, like what? This is how it all ends. Like this is what it all leads to. But when it just all he did was shoot a guy on TV. And then
he spent this whole movie trying to get exonerated or like not found not guilty. He tanks himself like immediately, and then you're like, okay, so what's gonna happen now? Is it gonna go to the electric? No, it's gonna get shivved. All right.
So, Chris, let me ask you this question because I'm curious what your thoughts are on this. That you were the comics representative on the crew. Like, is this a Joker you were interested in or care about, or like because this was like this Joker in the second movie was just not nothing interesting, not fun, not thought provoking. It was just like nothingness. And so I'm wondering, like, are there other representations of Joker that are not the Heath Ledger version, but are closer to this or just more interesting that we could have talked about?
We could have easily gone with Cesar Romero's Joker, and we would all have won.
Yeah.
First of
that's
all,
true.
Second of all, the first Joker, the first Todd Phillips Joaquin Phoenix Joker, I was interested in that one, and now that we're on the other side, in hindsight, it's 2020. There was a point in this sequel where I thought we would see we would get an actual journey.
Yeah,
I thought so too.
I don't care. I was here for the ride. I wasn't. I went in with like as a blank slate,
right?
And the trust was already earned based on Joker, the first one. So yes, I was interested, and every time my mind started to formulate a potential outcome, like with the explosion in the courtroom at the end, I thought this was going to be okay. It was okay, slow burn, and now he could escape, and something bigger could happen, especially with all these weird.
We don't do that
silly
here.
man, silly
we don't
man.
do that here.
His Dark Knight, if you will.
Sure, but at the same time, it's this very, very weird bait and switch that would take place. Like Harley was like, "So what's next, Harley? What are you going to do next? We're going to build a mountain." This fucking build a mountain concept. Don't do that if you're not going to deliver or attempt. It wasn't.
But
it's
you know why?
Keep
right?
watching. Keep watching.
But you know why that was the thing, right?
Sorry.
You know why that was the thing, right?
So they could shoehorn that
just
song
because of the fucking song, exactly. That was just the only reason why.
So this brings my next question then. A couple of the songs seemed like they fit the movie or what was going on.
Yes, and others was like, what is this?
Others like, and I understand it's a musical and sometimes it's not necessarily about the words, but it's about the feelings.
Yeah.
But like, I couldn't pick up on anything on some of those songs.
No, this is why I don't like jukebox musicals. Like
Yeah.
if you're gonna make a musical,
You gotta write some
write
goddamn
new
music.
songs. Exactly.
Especially when it's
right.
like a story musical where it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
you're telling a story. Like you need that's valuable screen time that can be used to develop
Yes.
characters and like create storytelling, and instead it's used to like sing a song that doesn't really have anything to do. Like maybe there's some little themes that are touching on, but they're not, the words aren't actually about what's happening. It's just a waste of time.
Yeah.
And
It hurts.
It I was checking out, and I'm
Yeah.
also probably the small demographic, and Luciana might be one of them as well, who like loves DC comic books and musicals.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Which musicals though?
and it missed for I
All,
love Jesus Christ
except this
Superstar. I'm a big
Okay.
Hamilton fan.
Hamilton's good.
Yeah,
liked it.
I love Phantom of the Opera. Like, you know,
Yeah,
I like.
In the Heights was another good one too.
I never seen any of that, but I want
I
to.
like the Book of Mormon.
I haven't seen that either, but I want to.
I haven't seen
Definitely.
that too, but
It's
But-
so good.
It's like I genuinely like I download those albums and listen to them. Like I like musicals a lot, and this
Yeah.
movie I was just like, so when I heard it was a musical, I was like, okay, I'm on board. Like this could be cool, and I was just like, this is such a miss.
You
And if
know,
I don't
yeah.
like it, nobody likes it.
and to me it was like, it's because it starts with, you know, the whole thing with the cartoon, which we haven't even
Yeah.
touched on, which was like the moment I saw that I was like, oh my god, this movie is already so fucking full of itself that I can't stand it, but let's see where it goes. And then you get the whistling of when the scenes go marching in, but we only really get songs after he meets Harley,
Like 40
towards,
minutes
like,
in
the-
almost.
or something like that. And I was like already not liking this movie, and then they started singing, and I'm like, this is another layer of something I don't want in this movie that I already don't like.
It just
Because it's songs are not good. Like, to your point, Matt, like what were the songs trying to, like, what was the point of it being a song? Is it just because they got Lady Gaga? Is that why? That makes no fucking sense.
Yeah, like when I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, there's a version of this movie that could work as a musical if it was, like I said, like if the musical segments were like them being crazy and they're all like these big over the top acts where it's like full fantasy land, visually crazy, original cool music, and that's like showing his insanity. But there were like scenes of them just like sitting in the glass, like sitting across from each other through the glass, just singing one-on-one to each other, and I'm like, this doesn't
that
work.
goes to your point earlier of, and maybe it was during the pre-show, but like, is this singing real? Is it happening in line with the movie, or is this singing happening separate from the movie? Right.
I mean, at one point, I thought, like, in the beginning, I was like, oh, the songs are going to be in his head. But then at one point he says, stop singing, just talk, which is what I was thinking. I know you were too as well, Spencer. Right? So then she was singing in actual life.
I think like
quote unquote.
the goal, I don't want to speak for the movie, but I think it was like the singing was their madness. It was like their joint fantasy.
Right.
And like he was coming out of the madness and she was like trying to stay it. So he's like, stop singing. He's like, just be like real for a second. And she was like, nah, like I don't want to be real. And that's why she left him. She's like, you like, we have a fantasy life and you want
you're
real.
too normal.
Yeah, like
you're
he's
too
like,
normal for me.
him saying he's not the Joker. It's like, oh, you're like, she says it. She's like, all we had was the fantasy. And those themes and stuff, I didn't mind. It was just the execution.
Yeah.
Like the fantasy didn't feel like crazy. A lot of it. It felt like it was like them just talking and then singing like a song from the 80s that had nothing to do with what was going on.
Or the 70s.
Or the 70s or wherever. Some Sinatra era stuff. I was just like, oh boy. That's when I started looking at my phone. Guilty as charged.
But there's the biggest like we've identified so many problems, and that's once again that's like at the that's like the crux of this movie, and Todd Phillips not giving a fuck about Joker. That conversation alone, Joker like use words, just talk, stop singing. That in itself is not. That's the contradiction. That scene is broken. That's not Joker. That's not Harley at all.
Can I use that as a segue to talk about Harley? Like I wanted to.
I want you
No.
to.
I
I
want-
want to support it, but there's one more thing because I cracked the code.
We're not
guys.
done.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
We're gonna vote that down.
This movie was not directed by Todd Phillips. This movie
Go on.
was not performed by Joaquin Phoenix or Lady Gaga. This movie was ghost directed by one Nicolas Cage as Shrek.
The fuck?
Ladies and gentlemen, just in case you didn't watch the video, he had to look down. That was a
I wrote notes. I wrote my notes.
prepared statement.
Maybe
Legally.
the Joker is the craziness inside Chris.
Chris, this
man.
whole thing where you stopped me from doing my very logical segue.
You're free to continue.
No.
You're free
was
to
ex-
continue now.
You gave us a 2-minute, the same feeling that we got in this movie, where there's a hide and no payback on the joke at all. I was like, what is happening here?
No, Chris evoked an emotion, which is more than this movie did.
And it also came off.
Oh, this movie evoked emotions.
Chris also
right.
came off as genuinely crazy, which is different than this
Really?
movie.
True.
Listen, we needed content. Your boy stepped up to the plate, and I didn't bunt.
Yeah. I'm just gonna go ahead and just move on from that real quick. I do think that this movie, keep saying this, like, could have worked, and I realized that it's they should have. This movie should have started with him as full Joker, because that's where the last movie ended,
Agreed.
right?
They never go full Joker.
And it should have
No,
been.
but they should have.
Also
should've.
true.
And
They should've.
and it should have
Because
been
it's not Joker. But
him. This should have been the opposite of the first movie, where if the ending is him admitting he's not the Joker or coming to terms with, like, his sanity or whatever, then the whole movie should be him coming down from being the Joker, and it's like a reverse of the first movie. And it starts off all musicals and fucking wackiness and with Harley Quinn, and then slowly his lawyer's like getting him to take meds and become sane, and then it's like the reverse of this movie. But the problem with this movie is it starts off right where he started off in the first movie, where he's like a sad sap fucking, so like it's like nothing happened in the first movie, and then he slowly becomes the Joker again. But right when he becomes the Joker again, he stops being the Joker.
Yeah.
Because
He doesn't really fully become the Joker like he did in the first movie either.
no,
Because this movie is a sham. It's a mirage.
this movie hates the
you're
Joker.
you're gonna get the Joker. You see all the things. You can see the hula dancing.
He's doing the
Joaquin
dance.
Felix. He did the kick.
We showed the
He
stairs.
He went to the stairs. He did the kick. He's doing his contemporary shit, which is fire. But guess what? Nothing.
Now, all of the wacky shit that he actually did was in his head. When he's singing and like bashing people's heads and all that, that was all in his head.
Just for the trailer.
Yeah.
You know, B-roll.
Yeah, really.
Shit.
I have a new fun concept that I'd like to throw out to the group. I think we should talk about Harley Quinn for a while. No one
Oh,
else
what a good
suggested it.
idea,
So good.
Matthew.
Matt,
you.
You know.
Yeah,
I'm going to send you some roses for that one.
appreciate that. That'd be really kind of you. I don't.
I just wish someone said that
specifically-
before the Nicolas Cage Shrek comment. Unfortunately,
It still works.
it didn't happen.
Didn't happen. So
Still
here we
works.
are.
You still get your flower.
Hey. Y'all go fuck yourselves.
What's happening? We were so nice to each other. Let the mat
We
cook.
live in a society.
We do
We
live in
do.
a society. Still the
Someday.
greatest Joker of our generation. No, but really want to talk about Harley. And I don't specifically have a problem that they wanted to invert the Harley story because they inverted the Joker story and, you know, blah, 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 or whatever. But much like Joker's character, Harley isn't bound by things like plot or rules or, you know, a character arc.
No, she has no depth, right?
Yeah. She's just a foil
Yeah.
for a character we all know and love and everybody loves because Harley Quinn, you know, from the cartoon originally and outwards is like a very compelling character. She was a prop to
Yeah, she
this
was a plot device, right? At this point, like, she comes in and it's like, oh, I've been put here because, you know, I burned my parents' house down. And I was okay, good.
Sure.
Like, she has some problems. She doesn't have to be the Harley that is a psychiatrist and blah. It doesn't have to be that way.
Yeah.
But then we do get that because no, actually, she committed herself. Actually, she went to grad school for
She's a
psychiatry.
yuppie from the fucking the suburbs.
And what she's doing, like, to me, it just, the reason why it irritated me that they flipped it is not because of the flip, but because we didn't need another reason to pity the Joker. But the fact that she picked him to be a sap just because she has some sort of power trip fantasy of manipulating this guy who's like in the news and making him do what she wants him to do, and being like the rich, like daddy's girl that gets to do whatever the
She
fuck
wanted to get her
wants.
kicks.
Yeah. That was, like you said, Matt, that's a character that we all love, that we know is a tragic character, right?
Yeah.
There's a reason why things happen with her the way that they do.
Mhm.
And they were like, no, she's just this plot device just to get us to kind of kick Joker when he's already down because reasons.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't have a purpose other than that, is what I'm saying.
The thing I was going to say is, as you hear you talking about it, it isn't even a flip of the character, because a flip of the character, Harley Quinn would have been conniving and manipulative, and this one
and would have had a reason to do so.
Sure,
as
and
well.
this Harley is just she's like just slightly less sad sack than the Joker himself.
She's like a fanboy, but not like the way Harley is a fan of the Joker, where she's like in love with him,
enthralled by him.
She was like
really.
a fanboy that wanted to like wanted to be close to the fame of it all. Like she was in love with the fame, but
clout. She wanted the clout.
She's a clout chaser. And
sorry, clown chasing or clout chasing?
yes.
Clout chasing.
Yeah.
Clout.
I think she is supposed to be the villain of the movie.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes, because she manipulates him into loving her and then drops him, and that's like,
which could have
saved him, but instead she crushed him. Fucking Todd Phillips. It's so wild that he got so mad about incels loving the Joker and seeing him as an icon, because his parallels here are just so like uninspiring and won't actually inform any of those incels about the first movie about anything.
And like honestly, I feel like the incels about the first movie was such a small group compared to the like. This movie made over $1 billion. There's so many people that like the movie for what it was trying to be. Yeah. Right? Yeah. It was a character study, and it was like interesting, and people weren't like, he's so cool, we should all shoot people. Like, people weren't thinking that. That's what the media was like talking about at the time, I think, because it was a fucking talking point.
The character isn't thinking that. Like,
everyone thinks he's like, everyone knows what he is. He's like it's a tragic story, and it's like he turned into a monster because of society. Like like the fact that he was like, nobody gets this, I gotta do it all different this time. Like my biggest message to Todd was like, get your head out of your fucking ass. Like this, the amount of pretentiousness that seeps through the screen in this, like as if it's like
in the cartoon alone, when the way that it plays out with like it being like a 50s or 40s cartoon, I'm like, this movie is already so like up its own ass that I already can't stand it in the first 2 minutes.
And like the plus one to this is like, fuck Todd Phillips, first of all.
Yes, 100%.
Plus 4.
Go on.
Yeah. Fuck this man. Yeah. Boo this man.
Boo this man.
Oh my God. Because we get Joker 1, we go into Joker 2, and before the shit hits the fan and it becomes Joker 2 broken and loving it, we get their introduction, Joker and Harley. They begin to fall in love. It seemed like they were beginning to fall in love. And honestly, I was rooting for their romance.
Yeah.
Because on this topic of incel Joker, it was humanizing him and giving him, like he said it himself, I'm not alone anymore.
Yeah.
For me, that was something worth rooting for. Yeah. From the lens of like just humanity.
Yeah.
And it could all turn to shit with the right structure, but to rip that away, okay, but to rip it away and then go down the path it did is all kinds of wrong. Todd Phillips should not be allowed to work anymore.
I genuinely thought that I genuinely thought that, you know, he was being a sad sack the whole time in prison, and then he found her and he was like, oh, now I'm not alone anymore. I genuinely thought, okay, this is going to be his motivation. He's going to break out of Arkham like he always fucking does.
Sure. See?
Right?
That's because there's no Batman.
But even if you
with
go
this
even easier to break out of Arkham then.
But even again, like even if you like that's going down like the classic Joker formula. Like let's say you don't want to do that. You want to be more artsy. It just from a theme point of view, like it makes so much more sense if he falls in love with this girl and he's never had love before, and but she's tied to his insanity. And they're insane together. That's what the movie's called, Folie, Deux, which is like joined madness.
Joint madness, yeah.
So it's but the theme is if he gives up his madness, he can not be put to death. but he chooses his love of her and his insanity over living, and like that's your fucking climax. He's like, no, I'm gonna like be the Joker.
I'm gonna stay crazy. I know it can get better.
Yeah, like
I know it can get better, but I'm gonna stay crazy because I want to be with her. And then, like that would have been great.
That's that emotional payoff. Like
yes,
yeah.
That could have gone. That could have. Like the raw potential, human potential of that could have, in the right fucking hands, fuck you, Todd Phillips, could have been something. Yeah. Could have been something almost great, goddammit. No, fuck you, Todd Phillips. I see you in the streets.
No, hold me
on
back.
Site. On site, Todd Phillips. On site.
Yeah, it would have been on par, like on theme with the first movie.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
He's like, okay, he stays a tragic character because he found the one thing he never had, and for him to have it, he has to not be okay.
Yeah, exactly. It's perfect. Right? And that again, the fact that she leaves him because he says he's sane,
right?
It doesn't work in this movie's context.
Yeah,
because why he became sane, there was no reason.
Yeah,
like there's no reason why he all of a sudden, other than him being abused anymore by the guards, and
it's fine.
That's
normal. It's normal. I mean, listen, I'm going to say one thing and then segue directly away from it so you cannot comment after I say this. But this movie uses every trope in the book because Todd Phillips is too lazy to create anything on its own. He uses the Joker to give us an expectation and subvert it lazily. Everything that happens in the prison, between people being able to get everywhere they want to, guards sodomizing a prisoner for some godforsaken fucking reason,
and
killing, to stabbings where people walk off so you can get away with it, to like, sure, there's a choir next door. Why not? Why not women next to men in a prison? These are great fucking ideas.
Yeah.
All of it is just in service because Todd Phillips is lazy as shit. But I bring you to our first and only plot point because we need to get to that point in the episode.
Hole, you mean?
Hole. Well, it's a plot point in the sense that it's a tiny hole that we're going to zoom in on and it'll become a hole.
Okay.
Did I save it? Did I do good?
Sure.
I think so.
I'll allow it.
Okay, great. The plot hole is the science. Sorry. My bad. It's the singing.
It's another S song.
It's another S word.
Yeah.
The science, the sweet science of singing.
Who wrote that dialogue? Todd Phillips?
Todd Phillips did.
Let the hate flow.
So, the singing.
Oh boy.
We've complained a lot about the outskirts of the singing, but I think the crux of the plot with the singing is it creates gaping holes in the plot that we go into the song thinking, okay, we know what's happening, and we come out of the song, we're like,
the fuck?
Travolta.
Yeah. Travolting. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
What? Yeah.
It's like the ending of Grease where they fly away in the car all over again. It's like, wait, are they flying? Did they all die? What's happening?
Are they high?
Are they all high? And we don't get that answer. I mean, yeah, like we talked about the singing in terms of like it not working in the movie as a structure or whatever.
Yeah.
But like specifically as a plot hole, it doesn't make sense because there's scenes that are clearly fantasy.
Yeah.
And then there are scenes that are clearly not fantasy. But they're still singing, but things are happening that you're like, that shouldn't be possible.
Outside of when he goes into the choir room and it's obviously just people singing in a room in a choir.
Yes.
That's the only part of the movie where you know exactly where you are when the singing is taking place. But everything else, Spencer
it's a place where singing makes sense.
Yeah.
Also,
I think
and it's always... Go ahead, Spencer.
The most glaring one is when they are watching a movie together, because that happens with inmates that have killed people on live television. They get to watch movies with attractive women and
minimal security. Yeah.
And she lights the place on fire, which
nobody notices.
Which at the time I was like, why are they giving the arsonist lighter and cigarette? But then maybe she committed herself, so maybe she wasn't an arsonist, and that was all bullshit. So I'll give you a pass on that, Todd. But and then they just walk outside. How did they get out of the building? Did they just walk outside?
Yeah, they just walked.
That's crazy.
Because of the distraction. Because it's that because if we're defending it.
There's a distraction so the doors don't lock anymore?
Arkham is an insane asylum and everybody there is just crazy, not dangerous.
Oh yeah.
But that's where they're locked in individual cells.
And controlled maximum security.
No, and like the whole thing with her just going, okay, I'm gonna set fire to this thing. She lights up the thing, she tosses it into the piano, she sits down, and it takes forever for people to notice. And when they notice, it's just like, oh my god, everybody out! And then they just walk out,
No
and then they
alarm.
start singing.
The fire's too far gone. The E-wing is lost to us.
gone.
It's lost.
And
Firepower.
And then you get the spotlights, and the spotlights follow the music so that they know when to dodge it. And then they duck between two cars with like 5 guards passing by and looking them in the fucking eye and continuing, and they continue. You're the one that I want. It's not that song, because that song is
It
good.
could have been.
No.
Right? And then they get to the gate, and then they captured them, and it's only because the song ended. Is that why they got captured?
Like-
is song their magic? Is that what that is?
And that all would be fine if it was just a scene fantasy. But then they're like, the news captures them escaping, and then they're talking about it in the movie as a plot point. Like, you two we saw you guys try to escape together. We saw, and it's like, wait, that happened? I thought that was a fucking like
A dream sequence of some
Yeah,
sort.
like I'm like,
Yeah.
if they actually just walked out of there, then that's a plot hole. It doesn't make any sense.
And then you get on the fallout of that is, oh my they sent me away because they thought you were a bad influence on me. But then we find out that she uncommitted herself. But then she tried to aid and abet a fugitive. You don't just walk away from that, even with money.
And set the place on fire.
yourself. You can't
Yeah,
recommit
and set the
yourself
place
the
on
next
fire.
day, right? Like, come in and out as you please.
Yeah.
Even if you are like, they'll not actually be like, oh yeah, cool, yeah, Harley, you want to come on in? Fine, go ahead.
Again, it must be Tuesday.
Bring your
Yeah.
lighter. Yeah.
you minx you.
And you're right. Like, she is the one who set the place on fire, and she tried to help him escape.
Yeah.
And she says, I'm not trying to escape. Fuck you. Right? And like, it's...
And they would have known she set it on fire. There's camera. It's a prison.
Yeah.
It's the 80s. No cameras.
There's
No
guards.
technology. No laws. No rules.
The guards were there was only Jackie watching the movie in that room.
Guys, if
No,
I go to
and
I go to
also-
prison for murdering 6 people, I want to go to that prison.
Exactly. 100%.
Or that one in
'Cause they just
Sweden where
walk
they have
out.
big screen TVs and video games.
It's like a poor man's Club Med at this point.
I was gonna say that. I was gonna say you nailed it. I was gonna say dirty, but you get it.
topical reference for you kids, Club Med. Don't worry about it. It's
Don't
just
you
fine.
worry.
Listen, it's topical for the movies era.
That's
If they don't
fair.
get our references, fuck Todd Phillips. That's what.
They should try being older. That's
Fuck
right.
Todd Phillips, but also old school is the bomb. Great job.
Yeah. It is.
Well, I'm trying to remember the other sequences that were like there were ones
in game sequences.
yeah, like in game cinematics.
The cutscenes?
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's the one where he's like kills the judge and stuff, and obviously that's
Right.
Yeah.
And when Harley shoots him, like it's
And
like
they
unless
have-
Right.
someone gets shot in the dance scene,
Yeah.
it's real. And if they get shot, oh yeah, it's fake. It's fake.
Yeah, and we get the stupid veiled Sonny and Cher thing, which is like it's
Was it
so
veiled?
poorly done.
it's only veiled
They
to
tried
the kids who
to
don't
veil
know
it.
what Sonny and Cher
Yeah,
are.
Sonny and Cher, true.
Like, oh, that's a reference to something in the 70s. Sure.
Yeah.
It's just it's. I can't find any other word but disappointing because conceptually plus structurally, these. I look at these numbers, these musical numbers, as experiments that could have worked, but it
Well, but
it
not
fractures
with
so
this
many.
not with this
here.
structure, right? The way that the movie was set up, and especially with to Matt's point in the beginning, where the songs don't make any fucking sense for the most part.
Like it would have been
Right.
cool if it was like clearly his madness, but like imagine a scene
Yeah.
where he's like the lawyer's trying to keep him in reality, and it's like singing, and then it cuts to being like Arthur, and he's like it's not singing, and then it cuts back to like da,
Right.
da, da, da.
That-
And it's kind of like a horror like vibe.
Spencer, that's another scene where it seemed like it was real when he did the interview and he started singing during the interview.
Yes, 100%.
It comes across as that's actually what happened in the scene. Like the
Yeah, when he's interviewing
on
with
TV.
the guy there, the
Coogan?
I don't remember his name, Patty or
Coogan.
whatever.
Steve Coogan.
Patty,
Yeah, Patty,
Steve
yeah.
Coogan. But like, it's a deviation once again. Not even about the Joker, but
And
it's a deviation from the potential of a character that was established in 1 and betrayed in number 2.
They
Like,
try
it could have
to
worked.
play it in a way that she's using the music to sort of keep him
Charmed
charmed,
like a
almost.
siren.
Yeah, but it doesn't like when they're talking over the like when she's out and he's in and they're talking and she starts singing "Close to You," which is one of the few ones that actually does make sense because like just
Sure.
drawing,
right. But then
Just
and
say
he goes
you
like
love Todd Phillips.
he gets all like
Get off his dick.
he gets all like mushy and she loves me, blah blah blah. But like it never gets again. Maybe they could have done that. Like she realizes that the music has some sort of like a power, hypnotizing power over him for whatever reason. Play it up. No, it's just everything is like wishy-washy in that sense.
Let me ask you this then. Do you think that Todd Phillips went for making a movie where he wanted to make the audience thinks that he hates them to just hating the audience? And
he went from making a movie that where people go, does he hate us?
Right.
To a movie that was like, oh, he fucking hates us,
Yeah,
and we hate him back.
like, I know it sounds like a joke, but like I'm being semi-real in the sense that like he went too far because
I see what you mean.
he it feels like he's actively saying fuck you
Like
for
he
liking
crossed
this
the line
guy.
too far.
Fuck you for having an interest in him.
I'm not even joking. I actually think that was like a conversation when they're making the movie where they're like, what else can we do to make like these idiots who liked the first movie angry? And they're like, we got to have Joker. Well, 1, we got to have him get killed. 2, we got to get him get fucking raped.
He has to be pathetic.
And then at the end,
just pathetic.
and at the end, they're like, you know what would piss everyone off? We just turned this whole fucking movie into a musical. Like,
And the songs don't make sense, and the Joker can barely sing.
And they were like, a musical. So should we get like a songwriter? No. Let's pick just the most obscure songs from the 70s and 50s and 60s that we can possibly find and just jam it in there.
and not catchy songs.
But we gotta make it. We gotta trick people and come to the theater. So we'll get Harley Quinn played by someone who knows how to sing.
Yeah.
Just to make it seem like
we got to
care.
make that money. We got to get that cash. We hate the fact that people like this movie, but we took every dollar that it made.
We like their money,
right in their goddamn pockets. So we got to do that. I mean,
and also there must have been some sort of a deal with whoever owns the rights to When the Saints Go Marching In, because fuck me, why was this song
Bro, I
so
bet
much
you
in this
that
movie?
song's so
Public
old.
domain.
It's public
Of course
domain.
it is. Yeah, of course it is.
Let me ask you. There wasn't. Is there that song where he goes, "The Joker is me"? That's got to be an original song.
I don't think it is.
Really?
I think, if I remember correctly from a podcast I listened to, I think it's a Shirley Bassey song.
Wow, that's so uninspiring. They might as well just had him like walking the court being like, I'm the Joker, I'm a smoker, I'm a midnight toker. It's just like, woo! And the whole jury, the choir.
It's apparently from another musical. The Roar of Grease Paint, The Smell of the Crowd. I don't know. I've never watched
Catchy
that one.
title.
But it's just another song called The Joker.
Well,
Like,
fuck you then. That was the only song where I was
exactly.
like, oh, at least they wrote one song.
No, God, no.
Seemed like it was actually written for the movie, but boy, was I wrong.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Todd Phillips, Chris.
Fuck you, Todd. On site. Stay out the streets, Todd. Todd, I know your name now, Todd. I know what you look like, Todd. I know what kind of car you drive, Todd.
Chris,
you done, son.
Chris, I need a shorter one so I can just cut it and play it whenever we need it.
Does anyone else
A shorter one?
just naturally assume?
Boo this Todd.
Does anyone else just naturally assume when he says "fuck Todd," he's gonna say "fuck Todd Howard"?
Who's Todd Howard?
He's the guy who made Skyrim. And everyone
I can see it.
Get to
hates on
Skyrim.
him because
Well,
Really?
it's Christmas right now, so
Okay.
I can't. It's the National Lampoons, right?
yeah.
Todd and Margot, the neighbors. When they said "fuck you, Todd," I think of the neighbor Todd.
Oh, that's true.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Todd.
Yeah.
This
Fuck
is
you,
this
Todd.
Is, this
What
is
did
new
he
for
do?
me.
He didn't fucking do anything.
I know what Todd Phillips did and didn't do. And what you are about to do is get these hands, son.
We got a restraining order by the end of this podcast.
Yeah.
It's
Listen.
not even out yet.
The words expressed by the people on the podcast are not a representation of the people on this podcast.
Yes, they are.
It is a parody.
On site, Todd.
It's just a joke, Todd.
This is a joke,
It's just a joke.
Todd.
I would give you a stairway to Joker wallop.
Todd, it's a joke. Don't sue us.
You don't know anything about jokes, Todd, but I got one for you. Knock, knock.
It's a joke, Todd. Laugh with us.
Todd, let's get back to the point of music and singing. So Todd hates us. Let's try this. I don't know if we're gonna get anywhere with it.
How?
Given the movie, could we fix this? How do we fix this? What can we do?
I don't. There's too many wrong things to fix it without writing the movie again.
We already fixed it. We talked about it in part 1.
That's right. We've been fixing it incrementally, and that's like the infuriating aspect of it. In the right hands, because Todd put this in the hands of a ghost director. So Todd and the ghost director are to blame. But in another auteur's hands, this could have been something. Like we went under the hood, and like most people would look at shit like, what is this Jetta engine doing inside of a McLaren? I tell you what it is. It's potential.
I think the first thing to do is make all of the singing and all the songs and all that shit just be the madness. Don't make it happen in
100%.
real life. Just leave it in his head and in her head like a joint, like you said, Spencer. Just fucking take the title of the movie seriously and leave it as a joint madness. That's it. And that's the first thing.
And if you really want to fix it, I think we just need what we're all thinking. We got to see Joker rap.
Of course.
I got 3 words for you. Lin-Manuel Miranda. And then boom, we got ourselves a hit. My name is Joker. I come from the streets of Gotham, and I got a few things to say to you.
I killed my mama with the pillow in my hands. Todd Phillips, I'm gonna fuck you up.
And another thing about
Hey,
Todd
Todd.
Phillips, you live at 125.
Mama said knock you out, Todd. Yeah,
You live on 27th Avenue Street. I know I watch you every day. No.
Your credit score is 747. Todd, gonna hook you up real good. Todd, bam.
Again, all of this already better than the musical score of this movie.
100%. In fact, just play this over the entire movie on a loop.
It will raise the rating for sure.
This is how we kick off our Patreon.
Yeah.
Like the
get
Joker
the album.
Folie fuck Todd mashup remix B-sides.
Yes, all those things are valid.
All of them together.
I killed
All the
Murray
ones-
on a TV show because fuck Todd. Fuck Todd. every song.
Okay, so great. This is the hip hop version of this movie will be lit. Obviously, I think maybe you just shouldn't. You can't. Like, I think Spencer said it. You cannot tell a dramatic movie with a musical and not use songs that evoke the dramatic emotion you want.
Yeah, I mean,
And I think that requires writing your own songs more than it is just finding a hit or like finding a thing that's close enough.
If not even a hit, just finding a song that nobody fucking knows about.
like what's a popular? I was thinking a popular musical that uses, like you said, a jukebox. I guess Moulin Rouge is
Yeah,
one.
sure.
I'm trying to think of.
But that makes sense because they're singing it on stage.
yeah,
It
I know.
works within. Yeah.
It's just imagine if like Les Mis or something, one of these famous dramatic musicals where like the big song is like they're just like breaking into, a song that like Stairway to Heaven or something.
Yeah.
You know?
Rocky Horror Show, they just picked like an Aussie song to sing in the middle. Like, what the fuck?
I mean,
It's like
Rocky
Sweeney
Horror
Todd?
almost counts in the sense that all those songs have become like
Right, but
songs
they were written
for the
for
movie.
the
Yeah,
musical,
It's like
right?
Les Mis.
They understood the assignment.
Yes,
at that
they
time.
did.
It's like in Les
Yeah.
Mis, he's like, my name is Jean Valjean, and I need to say, I get knocked down and I get up again.
Yeah.
You're gonna keep me down. I get knocked down.
Yeah.
You know what? I'd watch that
You know
movie.
what?
And also
Think about it
that
a little
that song matches the movie, so it actually works.
just get a scene where he's sad and make him go into Blue by Eiffel. I'm blue, da blue, dee, da, da.
I'm so sad.
Yeah.
I believe.
You know.
Prisoner 241 is so blue. I'm a die. I'm a die. I'm a green. I'm a
Exactly,
die.
yeah.
I'm a die.
It's hard to like it's hard to get existing songs and have them match, especially if you're trying to tell some sort of a plot point or like try to convey some sort of a part of the plot through the music. They're like, oh, we're just gonna pick this radio tune that kind of fits here and sing it. Like it doesn't. What?
She's so
It's
beautiful.
not impossible.
She's the most beautiful girl in the world. And I love big butts, and I cannot lie. All the other brothers can't deny.
Oh,
Chris, I want
get
to
your lighters up.
I want to point out here that even Highlander knew
Yes.
that you need unique songs written for your movie to tell the story
They
correctly.
got fucking Queen to write songs for them.
Yeah.
And they understood the assignments as well. You just got to get the right people, which is why when Joker catches up to Harley at the top of the stairs or whatever, and they're talking and they're having a thing, and she's like, I don't want you anymore. All we had is the fantasy. And then that's the moment when Arthur could have been just like, address the camera. Nah, bruh. Nah. There's a way. There's always a way. He looks at the camera. It's like, dun, 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 dun. Keep rolling. Yeah, rolling. And then it writes itself.
And Harley could be in the back like, what?
And then she'd be like, what? You were just playing a game? Baby, I'm yours. And like, whatever.
And then Todd Phillips looks in the camera and says, cinema.
Yeah. But to go back to your point, Matt, yes, I think they needed to be original songs.
Yeah. I think if you do original songs, I mean, Spencer, your question is interesting because when you're asked, like, are there any movies that used in a musical setting use contemporary songs? I fucking cannot come up.
I cannot think of any. At least
I
the ones that
Les
I like.
And I got one more, and it doesn't really work because it's Across the Universe, which is the Beatles musical, but it's a Beatles musical.
Yeah,
And it's written. The whole story is written around the songs.
The songs, exactly. Yeah.
And
it can be done.
It's a good musical, though. That one. I forgot about that one.
Chris, I want to be yes standing here, but I don't think it can be done. I think it's not for a dramatic story. I think you can do it for any, like an action movie or comedy, an action musical. Great, we can nail that.
Even Tenacious D wrote music for their musical.
Yeah,
but Across the Universe is like like to Spencer's point, it's a variant structured around the songs.
But it's different.
Yeah, but then
they took the songs and wrote the movie.
Song.
Yeah,
like the story doesn't even make sense. I think it's like
no, it
he's like, oh, I'm gonna go work with Sergeant Pepper now. Closer,
It's like Help. Help is the same way.
Yeah,
the story makes no fucking sense because it just jumps from thing to thing to thing. But it's because of it's there for the music.
It's like music videos all strung together. And
exactly.
Les Mis is the only one that's like a serious story and the music actually works. And I think it's kind of lightning in a bottle. And maybe it was like one of the first to do it. So maybe that's also. And they use like
Les Mis.
Not Les Mis. Moulin Rouge. Sorry, Moulin Rouge.
Moulin Rouge.
Yeah.
Like Moulin Rouge.
Moulin Rouge works. Yeah, I agree.
The reason why this is like this part of the conversation is happening is because I feel like we're still assuming Todd Phillips is going to direct this movie, but based on the suggestions that you've all been making, and whether they align or misalign, it's still possible with the right team. That's my position.
But also, my last point on this is in Moulin Rouge, those songs, they picked good songs with the intention of having musical numbers that people would like to listen to. The music of this movie was not designed to sound good. It's like them, like Lady Gaga sings well, but they're not like catchy, fun musical numbers.
They're shoehorning them in too.
They're all kind of like downers and kind of like
it's
singing a lot of it.
It's neither a musical or an interesting movie about a different Joker.
Yeah,
it fails on both counts.
I award you no points.
Yeah, God have mercy. May God have mercy on your soul. Exactly. Yeah.
Yes. Let's. Chris, you know what? Chris, you get the final say on this one, and then I'm going to immediately.
I don't want to do it because I don't want to do it, sir.
One short one.
One what?
You know what?
Because. God damn it, Todd! You had one job. I was trying to hold my tongue,
reel him back.
But Todd, look in my eyes. I don't care if this is audio alone.
And put him back in the bottle.
Listen, fuck Todd.
All right.
Damn it, Todd. You had one job. Get a new job. You're fired, Todd.
It's mad again. Damn it, Todd. And another thing.
Let's do some fun questions and cleanse our souls of whatever
Please.
this was. Okay, Jackie. Brendan Gleeson's character is the head guard, as far as we can tell.
Guard being used very loosely.
Very loosely.
He's the head murderer.
He helps facilitate everything that happens in this movie and might be the real villain, but he gets Joker into choir practice. And we learn pretty quickly that it's just so he can go to choir class and participate. Jackie's a prison guard. He's clearly still working on his game, but how does he finally get his big break so he can become famous Jackie the singer guy?
Okay, so first
Keeps taking inmates to sing into it.
yes, and then he works with the help of like he hires a writer to help formalize his autobiography. Jackie, what is it? Jackie,
The unsung
stories in the key of hope.
Beautiful.
Who wrote this title? Todd Phillips?
He did.
I'd read that book.
I'm inside his house, reading his notes.
Jesus Christ.
Right
That's
now.
Right now.
And then I lift up Todd's unconscious
Just
Weekend at Bernie's
just the head.
body.
No,
Just
no.
the head.
I didn't
Too
take it that
far.
far.
Too far.
I would beat him up, but I'm saying he's unconscious, so I could use the facial scan, and then he's like, "What? Huh? I made a movie," and then I'll be like, "Sucker, I got the transcripts." Anyways,
They're useless.
yeah, I wasted my time.
I think Jackie. I agree. I think
Jackie.
Jackie's big break is going to be, after all this, he's going to go on the TV shows being like, I was Joker's friend on the inside.
The Patty Show,
Oh, Jerry Springer style.
But he's going to have a clause where he's like, I'll do interviews, but I got to sing us out at the end of every interview. Because that's
No, I
part of
have
the deal.
birds.
I will answer all of the questions in song format.
Oh,
Songs that already exist.
Yeah, yes. I pick songs that exist and answer your questions.
And I'll answer them. Yeah. I'll
we
use your
just wanna make
questions.
sure-
Yeah.
What was it like being friends with Arthur? Well, it was a bit like getting knocked down and getting up again.
Why is it always Chumbawamba?
because
Give the
sir,
people what they want.
Spencer is a consummate professional. It was a little Irish in there.
Thank you. He's a bit Irish. I think that's how he.
Ha, ta, ta, ta.
I think that's how he got his big break, and then he turned. Then he went into porn.
Yeah, well,
because he
He
burnt all the
actually-
money.
Only,
No, I
only
like-
fans.
I actually like that
Hey.
Spencer.
Oh, God.
He went into porn and he didn't have sex on camera. He just sang over top
He
of
serenaded
the scene.
the couple.
Over
He
top of-
serenaded the couple.
Yeah, they were experimenting with porn in the 70s, and they're like, "How can we get
Yeah.
people more into this? What if a
Yeah,
man
they-
sang over top?" It
You
explains
just
exactly
Put
what
it
they're
in
doing.
and take it out again. You put it
No,
in and then
no.
you take it out.
No, they show as they're singing. He just whistles when the Saints go marching in.
Because it's public domain. By
So he doesn't have to pay.
Public
and
domain
he's-
for the
he's
song,
trying to-
of course.
But he whistles it with an Irish
They
accent.
didn't want to pay Chumbawamba, who wrote the song 20 years later.
That's how he gets
Chumbawamba
his
stole it from him.
That's how he gets his big break. It's a plagiarism lawsuit.
Yeah,
That's how.
he wrote. It was originally about sex, and then they changed the lyrics. But
Yeah, I get knocked down, but I
you
get up
wanna
again.
get
I
on the
can see
charts.
it. I can see
Yeah.
it.
Jackie,
it
this
is-
is what we do.
It's in the porn. I get knocked down, but I get up again.
my dick flops down and then gets up again.
Yeah,
See?
exactly.
They're never gonna fluff me down.
It's probably time we leave this line of questioning and move to a different
I
one.
think we should go on.
Concur. I concur.
We brought up earlier, and I got to know. Southern Law makes an appearance for the Joker once he takes over. But, we know a little bit about Joker's, let's call it two personalities, if we're going to give him that grace. Arthur Fleck and the Joker. I want to know more about Southern Lawyer. I want to know what's his history, what motivates him, where did he grow up?
Are you talking about
Right.
Chancellor Chelsea the Third?
Clearly grew
Yes.
up in Louisiana.
Chancellor
No question
Francis
there.
Chelsea the Third.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, Frank is what he said to me. Are they the same person?
Yeah. Frank is how his friends call him.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, that one, Spencer.
Well, he's no big city lawyer. I say I'm just a small man from a small town. And I was born in Louisiana back in 1904. That's when you said years, a little different than back when you didn't pronounce yet the years.
That's right. He's 85 years old.
Yeah, this was 1972, I believe. And I say, this court is in session for illegal activities because there's no crime. Where in the law book does it say you cannot kill a man? You tell me now.
Hold on. That's his backstory?
Yeah.
That's how he got into law. He was just learning.
That's what motivates him. It doesn't say in the book you can't,
You can't kill a man.
Yeah.
Until they showed him
say it.
Page 1, word 1.
But he's still fighting against it.
He still doesn't believe it.
Quiet, Honor. We swear upon... Go.
That's like flat earthers, right?
Yeah.
Same.
You show me where in the book it says you cannot kill another man, and I will give you $2.
You see, Your Honor, it says murder, but it does not say kill.
Murder can
And
be...
those are two different things.
They can be interpreted many ways.
I find it mildly intriguing that we swear upon the Bible when we put some on the testifying stand, the witness stand, and yet we adhere to this book of laws that you say we must adhere to. What happened to the good book?
Ladies and gentlemen, I think some lawyer had a stroke.
No. Some lawyer.
Everybody got them grown hands on the
He
fire.
moved from Louisiana to fucking South Africa, I guess.
The Southern lawyer, Frank Chelsea III, believes in two things: my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ,
Hog Malls.
and the law. And where in the book does it say you cannot kill another man on national television? I rest my case.
Notice that he said
No
which
further
book?
questions,
Tell me
Your
in the book. But he did not say Todd Phillips is a competent director.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
No, I believe his backstory is he was from Louisiana, who went into law.
Oh, we're still doing this.
Until you bring up
actually wanna
another
answer this
question.
You're talking to me this whole time.
He's trying to.
Until you mercifully interject to take me off this terrible business.
It's really hard when there are three Southern lawyers
Your Honor,
jabbering at each other.
I object.
Sustained. Wait, I can't do that. I don't have the authority.
Sidebar, Your Honor.
Okay, sure.
May I join the sidebar? I'm hungry.
You may not. Hey, Luciano.
Yes?
Random question for you, unrelated to this whatsoever.
Okay.
Thank you, Your
I'm
Honor.
sorry. That's how that works.
From saving you
Save
from
me
yourself.
from this terrible improv.
Not terrible.
Our friends at Warner Brothers,
Uh-huh.
they love the idea of musicals. And even though this one flopped, I think there's lots of potential for the next one.
Mm-hmm.
What is the next DC musical movie?
So they're building like the DCMU, the DC musical universe.
Sure.
I see.
Yeah.
Dick move.
It's gonna be the main universe.
Yeah, of course. The only one.
We're
This is the West Side Boys we're talking about. So
Yeah.
You know.
Hey, yeah, of course we're gonna make it huge.
it's gonna be huge.
Think about the
Yeah.
Apple
Look at
Music
all the money that we
downloads.
I think the next one has to be a hit because this one flopped. So I think it will be about the very famous and very well liked Arm Fall Off Boy.
Okay.
And it's going to be called Arm Fall Off Boy, Give Me Your Hand.
Okay,
Music
great.
by Fallout Boy, I assume.
Yeah, of course, absolutely.
Sounds like how Queen.
Fallout Boy. My arm fell off yesterday. Now I am a hero to the world.
We got the real deal.
I'm not sure you listened to Fall Out Boy at all.
I'm just singing about the Fallout Arm Boy.
I think you're singing Blink-182 and saying Fall Out Boy.
Yeah, he is.
Which is worse?
What?
I can't separate now.
Oh,
Yeah.
All the
Jamiroquai?
Folie of arms.
No.
So
Yeah.
no, I think that answered my question. 'Cause I was curious about the style of music, but it is Spencer. Do you want to take this one? The first style of music is
punk pop.
Yeah.
You know, I'll allow that.
Adjacent,
That's pretty close.
punk pop adjacent.
Yeah.
Puckety pop up adjacent.
Yeah, I said what I said.
With a special appearance by Lin-Manuel Miranda. Fuck
As
Todd.
Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Yeah, I think that's the very next one. That's the one that's gonna like really launch. 'Cause
Listen,
everybody loves Arm Fall Off Boy.
I think this is a great plan. Unrelated, I want to hear a different opinion, Chris.
Yeah, I'm ready. So this is going to be a heist movie.
Okay.
And we're going to, and like, we need, the DCMU needs someone with chops. And by chops, since this is the DC musical universe, it needs to be black. It needs to be spearheaded by Black Canary. And I want her
Actually,
to
Fuck you.
duel.
Too much realism already.
too good of an
idea.
It's too good.
Yeah.
You want me to fall into the depths of Todd Phillips' despair?
too good,
That's
actually.
the one you want?
I mean,
Is that the one you want?
Jazzy?
You told. Well, I can't answer that question until you give me direction.
You're not
All right.
understanding. It's going to be a Black Canary movie where all the songs are going to be sung by canaries.
I'm gonna
Now
Luciano.
we're talking.
No, that was terrible. You're terrible at this. Awful, Chris. I'm unleashing you. God rest our souls.
Okay, it's coming. Okay, this movie is okay. This movie is going to be.
He's cooking.
It's going to be a Barry White revival starring Solomon Grundy, and it's a heist movie still. But
Okay.
he just came out of prison, and like he's trying to tempt death. This like idea of Lady Death, but Solomon can't sing. Solomon can barely string 2-3 words together. So he's trying to channel this like sexy machismo, but all he's doing is Hulk smashing cars and shit and bailiffs, and you end up with something that's not hitting the mark because we already had Luciano's Arm Fall Off Boy. You can't have hit after hit. This is like the
That wasn't a hit,
DCMU
though.
has to.
So far we have 3 flops.
Okay.
He said that it has to be a hit, and I trust him. But now, after the success that the box office garnered, the DCMU needs to take another hit at the knees and learn from it because another is.
So Solomon
I
Grundy
regret
can
everything.
Solomon
No, I
Grundy
regret
can
everything.
say a few things. He can say, Solomon Grundy born on a
born
Monday,
on a
right?
Sunday. Yeah.
But you're saying it's going to be a Barry White version.
Yeah.
Born on a Sunday.
Yeah, is he
Deeper.
At which point in
Gonna
the
steal the
movie
bank
he's
and
going to
get
sing
some money.
Lowrider? Like,
I have an actual successful idea.
okay,
No.
Sorry,
sure.
guys.
Good luck.
Aquaman River Dance. You're welcome. It's going to be a Celtic vibe.
I think you mean
It feels
Aquaman
racist somehow.
Ocean Dance.
I
You
can't
mean
put my
ocean
finger on
dance,
it.
not
No,
river
it's not.
dance.
It's white culture, so we're good. I've went through this. Don't worry. He's no longer Maori. It's not Jason Momoa.
He's
We're
he's
clear.
Irish.
He's a full.
Okay.
He's a full Irish or Scottish.
See, now this checks out.
Whatever.
The math is mathing.
He's clearly named Seamus, right?
Yeah, of
course. What?
From
Seamus.
WWE
What's
lore.
Aquaman's name again? Oh, Curry.
Which one? Arthur Curry.
Arthur Curry.
Seamus Curry now.
Seamus Curry. Seamus O'Curry.
And you've got to get the Sheamus wrestler. Good point, yeah.
So Curry.
Seamus O'Curry.
I was born under the Atlantic Sea, and there we only knew one thing: how to dance.
He's perspiring, y'all. He's sweating. He knows how to move his body.
Tis the ocean in my blood.
Ha, ta, 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 ta.
Conor McGregor's here.
He's playing Aquaman,
Sorry,
of course.
Yeah, Conor McGregor is clearly Seamus O'Curry.
Seamus O'Curry.
Seamus O'Curry. Yeah.
He can dance and he can fight.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. He can dance. He can fight. He's all out of dancing.
I was skeptical, Spencer, but I think you nailed it.
That's going to be the breakout hit.
No notes.
We did it. We saved the DCMU.
We did it.
Gosh, darn it.
Moving forward
WB.
in question options, Arkham is. A prison,
a school,
an institute, a school.
A playground.
Club Med.
It gave me vibes of the nun school from Sister Act.
Oh.
And
another
so-
musical. Dude,
Yeah.
I wonder. Good musical. Well,
Yeah, it
the
is a
third
good
one
one.
started to lose it. But what I wonder is, what other wards, what other things were in this Arkham universe?
other than the singing ward,
So dancing's the next
The
one.
sodomy ward?
For
Interpretive
sure.
dance.
For sure, there's a sodomy ward. No, that's
What?
where Arthur
A
was.
what?
It's an other-
That's where
Solomon-
Arthur
the
was.
Solomon
don't
Grundy
repeat
world. He said Solomon Grundy. We're fine.
Solomon Grundy.
Okay,
guys.
great.
Brutal
So
Solomon Grundy. Raw, brutal, unprotected Solomon Grundy.
Solomon grinding.
Raw, powerful, and sensual to some degree. Solomon Grundy. What was the question? Oh, what are the other words? There's the singing ward, the Solomon Grundy ward.
Singing, dancing. There's the culinary ward.
They have the movie
Yeah.
watching ward.
Yeah.
The bird watching ward.
I think they have.
That's where,
I
that's where Penguin is.
I think they have a golf course.
But there's only 12 holes.
That's why it's prison.
And they only have 12 guards.
There's only 12 holes,
And
For
and
each
they're
hole.
all par threes.
Exactly.
I don't understand
Solomon
that
Grundy
reference,
runs the golf course.
It's brutal. It's raw. It's unprotected. Okay, we gotta move on, guys. We gotta move on.
Why are they always walking around with towels?
It's just the policy, okay? What you do in the Solomon Grundy ring.
Soaking.
I
Wet.
think they have a paintball area to let up some anger.
Oh. That's right. Towel off, sir.
Towels off of the paintball. Everybody
Yeah,
knows
towel.
that.
Why does he look like a southern pastor?
That's not what happened. He just came out of the Solomon Grundy ward.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
I wasn't gonna go
Is
there.
that Solomon
Too
Grundy?
far, sir.
Is that Polka Dot Man?
It is raw in there, gentlemen.
Raw and unprotected.
Unprotected. I'm gonna switch questions
Please
because it's the
do.
only way to get out of here. Harvey Dent is in this movie. I don't know if you saw him.
Is he?
Yeah, he's the not Southern talking lawyer man.
Sway.
Yeah,
I didn't see Tommy Lee Jones there.
it's fine. Don't worry about it. Harvey Dent. How is he the real villain in this movie?
He clearly didn't pay for his parking. First of all.
Okay. Wherever I
That
thought
is
you were
cold.
gonna go with that.
Listen, we got the kid gloves are off. You know he has unpaid parking tickets.
Chris, I just want to check here
You
because
say unprotected.
this. Fair enough.
No, sir. We moved on from that
Yeah,
segment.
we did.
But the question I have for you, Chris, is how many parking tickets is the equivalent of murdering 5 people?
Yeah, it's 2. It's 2.
That's a hard,
They keep that
that's a
number-
hard two.
The quota is that low for a reason. If the city can't collect those monies, heads are gonna roll. Literally.
All right.
5 of them.
Yep.
It's the ratio.
Yeah, it's fair. Okay. No further questions.
2 no.
I think that
you ask, you shall receive.
Harvey Dent is the villain because he's trying to put a sick man to death. And I don't know why that's funny. It's not.
It's not at all.
That's just why he is the villain.
He's got like asshole vibes. He's got Solomon Grundy vibes
Whoa,
the whole time
whoa.
on screen. He's like, I can't wait for this man to get fricasseed. I want to see him get punished. Firepower.
I think he's paying off the guards.
Sure, why not? Everybody else got to pay the guards off.
Yeah.
Prisoners could pay the guards off somehow.
Clearly, yeah.
A big city lawyer could do it.
Except if you're Ricky. If you're Ricky, you just get fucking killed for
Who's
no
Ricky?
reason. The guy that gets killed.
The
The fanboy.
buddy, the fanboy.
Who's Ricky?
Yeah.
You sound like the guards during questioning.
Yeah, there was no Ricky.
Huh?
Who's Ricky?
I got a beard. Who? Yeah.
Okay,
But yeah, I think he's a monster.
Yeah.
And obviously he's got that evil inside him because Harvey Dent famously becomes Two-Face.
Right.
So he actually was flipping a coin
In his pants?
in his pants, meaning his pocket, non-sexually,
Well, yeah.
on whether or not he was even going to try it this case or not.
right.
Yeah. Clearly.
And it was
Heads.
great. Okay. Luciano, can you want to take a stab at this?
No, I think the parking ticket story makes
Parking
sense.
ticket
You're a
alone.
coward. You're a coward. So the only way to take this is how is Harvey Dent the hero?
Oh no.
Well,
We got a
he's
little
clearly,
two-faced duality situation
he's
going on.
clearly trying to put a dangerous man in prison. He's
He's
hero
trying to
of
put
this
him to
movie.
death.
Sure,
That-
in prison
that-
and then to death.
Those parking
right, that-
tickets.
Prison ain't good
He
enough.
got those parking tickets trying to help
save an old lady.
an old lady out of a burning
Right.
building that he started in the last question.
Right.
Yes.
Wait.
He
Joker
built the building?
No,
or Harvey Dent?
Harvey Dent started
No,
the fire
Harvey
in the
Dent
last question.
set
when he
fire
was
to
the
the
villain.
building,
Right.
and then he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna kill this old lady. No, I'm gonna park here, double park here."
He flipped a
and save
coin.
her." Yeah.
And the coin was
Tails.
2 parking tickets.
fair enough. Okay, great. Yeah, that makes sense. So then, Chris, why is Harvey Dent the hero?
Harvey is the hero because someone had to let this well-learned man of the law do his job for once. Too often we see the law impeded and handicapped by ne'er-do-wells and the corrupt in the system. We know that judge had ulterior motives.
Amen.
But Harvey Dent is not going to be swayed this day. No.
Yeah, that judge.
He came prepared.
The judge who's like, you can wear clown.
I'll allow
you
it.
can wear clown makeup, but don't turn this courtroom into a circus, sir.
Yeah.
This is the most entertainment I've seen in quite some time. Proceed, Mr. Flash.
Objection, Your Honor. The prosecutor is a clown dancing.
I'll allow
it. Yeah, I'll allow it. God damn it, Judge.
I want to see where this goes.
Yeah, I want to see where he goes.
I
with
thought
this.
I had diabetes, but I've been proven wrong. I've got a clear bill of health. Let's see how this unfolds, Donut.
And that judge grew up to be Clarence Thomas.
Oh.
Oh.
Objection, Your Honor. Too topical.
Yeah.
I'll allow it. Let's move on to our rankings of this movie. Spoiler alert, not going to be good, but how bad is the interesting question. We use the S tier ranking system, S at the top, F is the lowest. I would all like us to pause here for about 5 seconds. Everyone listening at home, lock in your guesses. How many Fs are we going to get?
5?
It could be 5. We don't know.
Could be 5. With you, the audience.
Here we
No, Todd Phillips is going to give one himself.
go. Let's kick it off. Resident Hate Meister Luciano, you can go first.
They call him Hitler.
Are we? No, we don't. No, we don't. No, we
Don't
don't.
do it. Don't do it.
No, we don't.
Spencer, don't
Listen,
don't push Luciano onto the landmine.
we already had the pedophiler in the last episode. I am drawing a fucking line.
Spencer, do not engage your core as you proceed to wrap your arms around Luciano and suplex him onto the landmine.
I'm sorry.
We're supposed to be a team.
I'm sorry, Chris.
Don't kill us.
I'm sorry, Chris.
We need the Patreon money potential.
Let's go on.
If I was that I'm not going to repeat, I would have given this an A, but I'm not, so I'm giving this a fucking F. This is one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. I would rather watch Morbius and Madam Web back to back
Really?
than ever watch this movie again. Yes. This is
Wow.
one of the top 3 worst movies I've ever watched. There's nothing to save it. Even Joaquin Phoenix's acting, which is great still, but it's in service, like it's using his powers for evil. That's what this movie does.
All right.
It's horrible. There was no entertainment value, and I want my 2 hours and 15 minutes back. I fucking hate you, Todd Phillips. I hope you
Chris.
stub your toe every morning when you wake up. Every morning for the rest of your life.
Until
Wake up,
Chris
stub your toe.
finds you.
Until Chris finds you, which is going to be the end of
It's
your
a
life.
joke, Todd. It's a joke. Take a
laugh.
joke. Todd.
At this point, I was called Hitler. I don't think we're joking. I think the gloves are really off now.
No, that one was serious. Chris, what do you got?
I'm gonna bring the mic close on this motherfucker.
Uh-oh.
First of all, this movie's an F. Second of all, Todd, I looked at your filmography. I don't give a fuck about the movies you made before. Todd, Road Trip, I liked it before. Fucking hate it now. Starsky and Hutch, fuck that movie. Old School, you're not my boy anymore, Mr. Todd Blue. No, this is my chance now to give Todd what he rightfully deserves. Todd, you fucked this up. You had a simple motherfucking job. First movie was fire. This movie, you goddamn screwed the pooch, took a shit on it, and left it on all of our doorsteps. People don't watch this movie. Furthermore, listen to this podcast and see how real motherfuckers do. The West Side Boys wanted to make money for the second movie. They tried to do it. They lost money. They made the money for the first one, but they ain't making enough money on this one. There ain't gonna be a third one. You know why? Because I'm coming for you, Todd. Figuratively. And I'm going to give you a mama said rock you out. That's my time.
It's a joke. It's a joke, Todd. It's a joke.
It's okay, Chris. You can have my Hitler title.
Yeah,
It's
I was
all
gonna
yours.
say that.
I
I
really
accept it
I want our audience to take Chris's comments.
with a grain of comedic salt.
Well, no, Todd should take it with the comedic salt.
Why?
salt.
No,
With
fuck him.
A whole salt shaker, not just
The
a
rest,
grain.
no, I want someone to like get like a, the Saints go marching in, and overlay that on the back of.
We'll have to do that in post.
Maybe we'll do it in post. Yeah,
But that was very cathartic for me.
I'm
Because
glad.
yeah.
I'm glad you feel
Glad
great.
you
I
got that
hope,
off your chest.
So,
Shit.
for those of you following along at home, that's 2 Fs out of a potential 5. Apparently,
F.
according to Spencer. Spencer,
On a scale of S to F, I give this movie. I get knocked down, and I get. This movie's bad. It's bad. Honestly, this movie doesn't deserve an F in terms like Luciano said. Like, there's good cinematography, there's good acting, and there are good elements, but it's such a spit in the face
Yes.
to people
That's
who
the
like the
problem.
movie
Get him.
that I actually
Get
feel
him.
like this movie was made like out of spite,
it's asking for it.
and for that, I will give it an F because
Yeah.
it doesn't. I don't like the way it makes me feel in terms of like I just feel like I'm being yelled at by a jerk for not liking his painting, like
Or for liking it too much.
or yeah,
For liking it too much.
You only like my big piece because you're such a it's like that kid that you knew that was like, oh, you only like Smells Like Teen Spirit. You don't like their the Nirvana's album that never got released on the side.
Yeah.
It's like fucking, it's like,
You know what your problem is?
it's just like,
You're right.
You made the fucking movie. Don't fucking give me shit because you feel like a sellout or whatever the fuck your problem is. Anyways, that's why it gets an F. It's just purely because of that reason. Like, there are elements of this movie I do like, and I think if tweaked, it could be actually a good, very unique movie. And I like that it was like trying to do something different, but it's the reason it was made different that I don't like. So for that, F.
I think that he gave that. He gave that like F to the power of 3 or 4.
Yeah.
I think we should allow that.
No. I will also now review this movie. It's simple. It's an F because a movie has one job at its core. A movie should entertain me somehow. Tell me something I don't know. Show me something in a different way.
Make you feel something.
Make me feel something.
Other than rage.
Other than contempt.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so this movie is just like Todd Phillips literally hates me and wants to teach me why I should never watch a movie ever again.
Yeah. This movie is a
And-
cautionary tale against
Yeah.
movies.
Against his movies.
Every other movie we've ever watched in this podcast has been like, well, that was a fucking choice, and that's weird, but I guess maybe it'll appeal to somebody, or they just skipped things, or they did something. And the movie's just like, I don't know who wants to watch this movie. If you were someone who watched this movie and you were an incel and you saw the power in the first movie, you're gonna hate this movie. But that's like what, a small percentage. If you like the other movie, you're gonna hate this movie because it says you're stupid for liking that movie.
And if you
if you hated the first movie, you're not gonna watch this one, probably.
Or you're gonna hate it because it's still the same fucking character.
Yeah.
It's just there's no reason to. There's nothing, and for that reason, Todd, it's an F.
And this is our first like all the way Fs.
Really?
Because in the other situations, someone wasn't here, either Chris or you. Spencer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
even Morbius didn't get all four Fs.
That's pretty crazy. I think Jurassic
weird.
World Dominion, maybe.
That was in the previous podcast, I think.
Oh, that never happened.
That never happened. Yeah.
I mean,
other dimension.
I do have one message for TP.
Right.
Toilet paper?
After this movie,
thank you.
When you get knocked down, maybe don't get back up.
Maybe
again.
don't get up again. Yes.
Thank you.
Got him.
Stay down.
Just stay down.
Yeah.
Because we're all. Hey Todd, you remember that scene in Office Space?
No.
You remember that scene in Office Space?
We were done.
You
were
unleashed him.
Ugh.
Are you calling
Okay,
Todd Phillips? Are you calling Todd Phillips a printer? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm here for it.
Meanwhile, back at this podcast, I'd just like to wrap this up and say happy holidays to everybody listening to this podcast. It's going to come out when you're on your holidays and avoiding your families and listening to this, and they're going to judge you harshly for that. And
as they should.
As they should. Secondly, we do have a movie we're going to follow up after this one. We might be off for a week or two for Christmas and holiday fun. Also, Hanukkah is on Christmas, so everything wraps up in a nice little bow for everybody. But we will be watching Carry On. It just came out on Netflix. It is, I don't know, man. Let's go with the Dean Norris vehicle.
The non-Todd Phillips vehicle.
The not tough. It's Taron Egerton and Jason Bateman starring in a movie that happens over the holidays at an airport. It is not Die Hard, as far as I understand.
Oh,
So-
now I'm
It's
Sorry,
not
Die
the
Hard
terminal.
2. Yeah. But it could be.
Well, now I'm interested.
But it's probably not.
Now I'm disappointed again.
But
it
for
could
you,
be.
Spencer, I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah.
Now I'm excited.
Perfect.
What is object permanence? I don't know.
So next time, in the new year probably, Carry On is the name of the movie. But also, it's about...
Also Carry On.
You get what I'm saying. I'm not British.
Bye.
Peace out.